Dominic Richard Harrison, better known to the world as Yungblud, is not just a rock star. He's a revolution in ripped jeans and smeared eyeliner. Born in Doncaster, South Yorkshire, this 28-year-old artist has carved his name into modern music history by defying boxes, binaries, and expectations. His work fuses punk, hip-hop, pop, and protest into a singular scream of youth rebellion that refuses to die down. As of now, Yungblud's net worth is estimated at around $4 million, the product of sold-out world tours, chart-topping albums, lucrative collaborations, and his growing business ventures, including his London-based creative space, Biography. While not the richest star of his generation, he's built something more valuable, a fiercely loyal global community that sees itself in his lyrics. Every scar, every scream, every defiant lyric has turned into both currency and culture. To his fans, the Black Hearts Club, he's more than a musician. He's a mirror. Early life. Dominic Richard Harrison was born August 5, 1997, in Doncaster, a working-class town in northern England where factories smoke mingles with football chants. His parents, Samantha Harrison, a fitness instructor, and Justin Harrison, a vintage guitar shop owner, nurtured a home steeped in rhythm and rebellion. Music ran through his bloodline. His grandfather, Rick Harrison, once played with the glam-rock band T-Rex, connecting Dominic to the wild spirit of 1970s rock before he could even hold a guitar. He grew up alongside his two younger sisters, Jemima and Isobel, Izzy, in a family where expression was encouraged, even if it was messy. As a child, Dominic was relentlessly curious, talkative, and creative, traits that led to an early diagnosis of ADHD. Teachers branded him disruptive. He preferred different. At Aqua School, young Harrison was already a firecracker. He was once suspended for convincing a classmate to moon their math teacher, a story he now recounts with mischievous pride. His parents, though frustrated, recognized a restless artist in him. After school, Dominic enrolled in arts educational schools in London to study theater. He wanted to act, and briefly did, appearing in the British TV shows Emmerdale and The Lodge. But the classroom could never contain him for long. They wanted me to paint by numbers, he later said, and I wanted to paint in blood. He dropped out in 2015 to chase his own voice. Those early years in London were chaotic but formative. He worked odd jobs, crashed on couches, and lived off instant noodles. But in the grime of the city, he found his identity, a hybrid of punk defiance and poetic heartache. Personal life. Few artists wear their hearts on their sleeves, quite like Yungblud. His personal life, often lived in public view, is a map of love, loss, and evolution. In 2018, his whirlwind romance with pop star Halsey became tabloid gold. The pair's chemistry crackled both offstage and in the studio. Their song 11 Minutes became an anthem of tortured love. But by mid-2019, the relationship had run its course, leaving behind an ache that would fuel much of his later work. By 2021, Yungblud found new love in Jessie Jo Stark, an American singer, designer, and the daughter of Chrome Hearts founders. Their relationship was quieter, steadier, built on shared artistry and mutual rebellion. Though they reportedly took a brief break in early 2025, they reconciled by summer, appearing together at London's All Points East Festival. Yungblud has been open about his sexuality and gender expression. In 2019, he came out as sexually fluid, and later identified as pansexual and polyamorous, rejecting labels that limit love. "I don't want to be put in a box," he told Rolling Stone. "I just want to fall in love with people who make me feel alive." He has no children, but he often refers to his fan base as his kids, saying they keep him grounded and inspired. Though he rarely speaks of religion, his music and interviews reveal a deep spiritual undercurrent, one rooted not in dogma, but in human connection. To him, belief is in the mosh pit, in the chaos, in the unity of screaming strangers. Offstage, Yungblud's creative energy spills into every medium he can touch. He co-authored a graphic novel series, The Twisted Tales of the Ritalin Club, based on his alter ego's journey through rebellion and conformity. He's also appeared in short films, directed his own music videos, and championed causes from mental health awareness to LGBTQ+ rights. In 2025, he opened Biography, a hybrid venue, merch shop, and creative hub in London's Denmark Street, the historic heart of British rock. It's a church for misfits, he said at the launch. A place where no one has to pretend. Professional career. Early steps, from acting to anthems. Before music defined him, Dominic's first flirtation with fame came through acting. His roles on Emmerdale and The Lodge gave him a taste of performance, but not purpose. He later said he felt like a puppet reciting someone else's words. Music, by contrast, was raw, dangerous, real. In 2017, he emerged as Yungblud, a moniker that captured his manic youth and refusal to conform. His debut single, King Charles, was a political snarl, a protest wrapped in electric swagger. Then came I Love You, Will You Marry Me?, a dark urban fairy tale based on a real tragic graffiti story, and Tin Pan Boy, an attack on gentrification in London's Tin Pan Alley. These early releases announced a new punk poet for the modern age. Breakout years, 2018 to 2020. Yungblud's 2018 debut album, 21st Century Liability, detonated like a hand grenade in pop culture. Raw, loud, and deeply political, it railed against apathy, sexism, and social media hypocrisy. Critics compared him to Bowie and Billy Joe Armstrong in the same breath. But it was his vulnerability that won hearts. Polygraph Eyes tackled sexual assault from a male perspective, a risky and necessary move in the #MeToo era. His live shows became emotional rallies, where misfits cried and screamed together. 2019's EP The Underrated Youth solidified his global rise. The title track, Half Anthem, Half Plea, became a generational mantra. Then came 11 Minutes, featuring Halsey and Travis Barker, a pop-punk tragedy that topped charts worldwide. The Weird Era and Global Recognition, 2020 to 2021. In December 2020, amidst a world lockdown, Yungblud released Weird, his defining record. It was a kaleidoscope of confusion and hope, an embrace of difference at a time when everyone felt isolated. Tracks like Cotton Candy, Mars, and God Save Me, But Don't Drown Me Out showcased his growth from agitator to empath. The album debuted at #1 in the UK, a testament to how deeply his message resonated. His virtual Weird Time of Life tour brought fans together from bedrooms around the world, proving that community could exist even through screens. Evolution and the Self-Titled Era, 2022 to 2023. By 2022, Yungblud had shed some of his earlier chaos for a sharper edge. His self-titled third album, Yungblud, was introspective, exploring fame, vulnerability, and self-acceptance. Songs like Tissues and Don't Feel Like Feeling Sad Today mixed anthemic choruses with confessional lyrics. The album debuted at #1 on the UK Albums Chart, his second consecutive chart topper, cementing his status as Britain's most vibrant rock export since Arctic Monkeys. The Idols Era, 2024 to 2025. In June 2025, Yungblud released his most ambitious project yet, Idols Part 1, the first half of a two-part concept album. Described as a love letter to imperfection, it explores hero worship, disillusionment, and reclaiming one's identity. The sound is more mature, blending punk urgency with gospel choirs and cinematic orchestration. Its lead single, Lowlife, hit streaming charts worldwide and became the anthem of his up-close and personal tour. A series of intimate performances in small UK clubs where fans stood mere feet away from him as he told stories between songs. His live shows, once riots of noise, have evolved into experiences of catharsis, equal parts therapy session and revolution. Entrepreneurship and activism. Beyond music, Yungblud has become a cultural entrepreneur. His BRAT space on Denmark Street isn't just a venue. It's a creative ecosystem. It hosts open mic nights, art workshops, tattoo pop-ups, and mental health awareness events. He's also collaborated with fashion brands, from Doc Martens to Saint Laurent, and lent his name to charity projects supporting youth homelessness and suicide prevention. House tour and car collection. While Yungblud isn't one to flaunt wealth, glimpses into his world reveal a man who values comfort, creativity, and chaos in equal measure. He reportedly owns a modern flat in London, decorated with vintage punk posters, mismatched furniture, and walls covered in fan art. "My house looks like my head, messy but full of life," he once joked in an interview. He's also said to own a small property in Los Angeles, which doubles as a writing and recording retreat. As for cars, Yungblud's collection is modest but stylish. He has been spotted driving a black 1968 Ford Mustang, restored with custom red interiors, and a matte black Harley-Davidson motorcycle he calls Mary. Unlike many rock stars, he seems to collect moments more than motors. College career. Yungblud's formal education ended at the Arts Educational Schools in London, where he studied acting before dropping out. Yet, in many ways, his career has been a masterclass in self-education. He's learned the business of music by doing, the politics of identity by living, and the philosophy of art by bleeding it onto the stage. He often says that leaving school was the best decision he ever made. "If I'd stayed," he once said, "I'd be pretending to be someone else for the rest of my life." Instead, he became exactly who he was, loudly, unapologetically. As of today, Yungblud is very much alive. There are no credible reports of his death. In fact, he's in the prime of his career, touring, recording, and expanding his creative ventures. Any rumors to the contrary are unfounded. Dominic Harrison's rise from restless Doncaster boy to global rock icon is more than a success story. It's a cultural rebellion. In a world that often demands conformity, he has made defiance an art form. He's not perfect, and that's the point. His imperfections, his ADHD, his emotional volatility, his unfiltered mouth, are the same qualities that make his music feel alive. His songs speak to those who've ever felt misunderstood, unloved, or too loud for the room. In 2025, as he stands on the cusp of the next era of his career, Yungblud isn't just the sound of a generation. He's its heartbeat. With Idols climbing charts and his Denmark Street venue buzzing with life, he's proven that rebellion doesn't have to burn out. It can evolve, mature, and still set the world on fire. The story of Yungblud isn't over. It's still being written in sweat, noise, and neon ink.